Hello, beautiful people. This is my review for Maleficent, starring Angelina Jolie, Elle Fanning, and Charlton Copley. The movie is directed by Robert Stromberg. It's Disney's remake of the classic Sleeping Beauty. And I'm gonna get into a little bit of spoilers. I don't want to give you too much spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. We get to see Maleficent when she's a young girl. That is a little bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that, but we don't get to see much else. We find out that something happens to Maleficent as a child, but we don't know what that is. Maleficent already lives in this Moor's land with beautiful, mysterious, magical creatures, and that's where she grew up. The story is kind of centered on her growing up and becoming fascinated with men, I would imagine, one particular person, Charlton Copley's character. We get to see why Maleficent cursed Aurora eventually. Disney has a way of taking movies and not really giving them any room to breathe. In the classic Disney movie, Maleficent is seen as a horrible, horrible, evil person and without redemption. And this movie, of course, Disney ties a little bow on everything and makes everything perfect. Maleficent is both a good person and a bad person. She is both the antagonist and the protagonist. Feel sorry for her, but then you kind of you hate her. And I think Disney was trying to play with that, or the director was trying to play with that, but I felt like that was a little bit lacking. I think they could have done more in making her a little bit more evil. There wasn't something in particular that she did to me that made her that evil. I think everything that she did served a purpose. There was a lot of plot holes in the movie. I don't expect Disney to just, fill those in. I think they just leave it to the imagination. This is one of those movies where you're not supposed to ask too many questions. There's not a lot of what happened there? Because there's not an answer. There's just not going to be an answer. Or the editing was done just horribly and they just cut out the scenes. Those are the two things that I can think about that had happened. There were no repercussions for anybody's actions. One of the biggest things happens at the end, and nobody cares. I will tell you this. There is a super duper happy ending, and everybody's happy at the end. So if you like movies with happy endings and no explanations for plot holes, this is a perfect movie for you. There was a scene where Maleficent is spending some time with a man. He ends up betraying her. Pretty sure she was raped. Anyways, nobody talked about it. It was just awful, and I think that was the only moment in the movie where I was just like, oh my god, I feel so horrible for Maleficent. I understand anything that she does after this. I'm gonna stand by her. But then, she hates a baby. How do you hate a baby? Disney again was trying to play with that, is she evil? Is she good? Is she evil? Is she good? And they really, they could have done more to accentuate how evil she was, because there wasn't a lot of things that she did that made us feel like she was really evil, because at the opposite end of the spectrum, she was doing some really, really decent, fair things that you would be like, that's okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you doing that. If there was any redeeming quality about Maleficent, it would be the fact that, she learned how to love out of all of this after having not believed it. I give Maleficent a 2.5 out of 5. It had great, beautiful scenes. Costumes were amazing. Maleficent's character was nicely done. I felt sorry for her. There was a lot of great character development, particularly for her, but every other character in the movie were lacking in any type of motivations. We had no idea why people were doing certain things. Some people were gone for a long time in the movie. We had no idea where they went, why they weren't where they were supposed to be. People did things and didn't ask questions. There were a lot of things plot holes that didn't really get answered. Other than that, the movie was great. It was beautiful. I loved everything about the creatures, the designs, the concepts, the costumes, spectacular costumes. It was just a nice little movie that you can take your kids to on a weekend, Saturday morning or something, and just feel good about at the end, because all the people that you invested your time watching end up happy, and the people who were bad go away, and so that's great. Everybody's happy. Yay, happy ending. That is all, and thanks so much for watching.